And you can see this is what the advanced layout editor looks like once you've added a good amount of content. You can say here is the slider where we can choose which one we want, and our icon boxes in 1/3 columns, and then each section is in its own color specific layouts, added galleries, and lots of different elements. So you can see there's really a lot you can do with it, and it may look a little bit complicated when you first see it when you're looking at a full pre-done layout like this. So let's go ahead and create a new page where we will test all of the various elements and just kind of go through them one by one. So we'll call this the test page. And right away you see that this is the regular WordPress visual editor here. And to turn on the advanced layout editor, we just click on the button. And there we are. So the first thing I want to do is go over the layout elements. And this is what gives you, very simply, just the layout. It allows you to set your own columns, as well as the color section, which gives you control of the background for each individual section that you create on the page. And if you think of your page in blocks, rectangle blocks of content, it allows you to kind of design each one of those blocks in turn while you're doing things. And this is pretty straightforward. It's just a full width block, half, 1/3, 2/3, quarter, etc. So if we go ahead and add in a full width, just drag, drop it in. And you can see this takes up the full width of the content area. Once I want to add something to it, I just go to the content elements, pick one, and drag it in. That's a text block. If I want to remove it, delete element, and delete the column too. Go back to our layout elements, and I can just start over. So starting off from the top, if you want to do something just like the home page, we'd want to go to media elements first. And this is where we can add in the video, image, gallery, and the sliders. So if I wanted to do an advanced layer slider, just like the home page, drag and drop, and then I choose which one I want. Now these have been created already using the layer slider options here. But I'm going to choose the second one, and that's it. Now if I want to add the content below it, I just go back to the layout, and I can choose the 1/3 33% width column, drag it here. If I want a second one, I have two options. I can drag a 1/3 again, or from the column element box here, I can just click clone column. Now the clone column is actually not just for the individual content, it's everything inside of it. So if I know I want to have 3 1/3 columns here, and each one is going to have the same basic content inside of it, I can go to content elements, and using the example that was on the home page, drag an icon box inside of it. And before I go in and edit the specifics for it, I can just clone. And now I have 3 that are identical. And if I wanted to go in and edit this element, I just click edit element. And here I can change the icon position, its title, and its content. And you can see we have lots of predefined icons to choose from. So that's how you do the basics of it. Now, if I want to do something a little bit more complex, we just start with a color section. And because this is kind of the defined header area, we have the slider, we have the 3 icon boxes. Just below that, I want to make something a little bit brighter that calls your attention and drives the user to my product page. So I would just drag and drop a color section. Then I edit that section. And from here, I can choose a section color, which is one of the predefined style options set in the themes style tab. And that's text color, link color, all those various styles there. And that allows me to really quickly just say, this is going to be one of my alternate content blocks. But right now, I don't want to do that. I want to make this really bright and really call your attention. So I go to select color, I get the little pop-up box, and I'm going to do a bright, obnoxious red. So there we go. And that would give that whole section there a bright red color. I can also add a image background there, which would give you a full width or partially full width image. And then the padding. I want large padding so that it has lots of white space. And we'll do the little shadow effect after the content area. Once I save, any content that I add inside of this color section will be on top of that red background. So let's go ahead and add just a, there it is, there's the promo box. Now I can say, hey, look at my content. Once again, I just click on it to edit it. I can edit the message. I can change the button, what the button's label is, the link, if I wanted to open in the same window or a new window, the various colors for the buttons, its size, we want it large, and I can even add an icon to it. So if I say yes, I get to choose the icon. And we'll do a nice thumbs up icon. I save it. You can actually see a preview right there. So if we want to take a look at what this looks like right now, we can do that. I know this is going to be a full width page, so I want to go ahead and go over to my layout section, and I'm just going to choose no sidebar. So once I publish the page, I can go ahead and take a look at it. So I can just go to view page, and there we go. This was that predefined slider, and it's full width. We have our icon boxes, and then we have a nice bright color section with our promo box inside of it. So if we go back to edit page, I can see that I can just keep adding to this page however I want. So let's go ahead and just remove these elements. Even remove the color section, and we can start kind of going through each of them. So for that, I'll just add a full width element, and that way it's easy to drag and drop them in there. So here are the various content elements that you can add. We have a text block, which is just like the visual editor. Click on it, edit, add your own text here. It's just that simple. If we want to have a nice line afterwards, we just drag and drop the horizontal ruler. And it has a couple of styles with it. You can have a little bit, you can just have just plain white space, a smaller separator, full width, big and top margins, and just save. If we want to have a special heading that goes over top of everything, we can do that. And again, just click, edit, select the header type, color, style, and the padding underneath it, and save it. We can even have an icon list. Click to edit. And here we can have our own little icons, and once again, click and edit. Do a little chat box. And save. We can have them on the left or the right. We'll change the right just to change a bit. And there we have an icon list. The buttons can be added in just like any other content. You can go through and edit them. You can add icons to them. And it really allows for a lot of flexibility and style very, very easily. So for this one, I'm going to choose no icon. And then we can go to the notification box. Now, if you hover over each one of these, it gives you a little quick description. And the notification box is the little pop-up that comes up at the top. So we'll just show that there. If we edit it, we have a lot of the same options. We can do an alert, add a border, and icon, and we save it. So with just this content right now, we have the alert box, our special heading, a little bit of text, some icons, and a button. If we go and we preview the page now, after updating, you can see that we have the alert up here, our heading, a little bit of text, and the icons, and our button all the way at the bottom. So once again, it's very simple. Drag and drop, and we can just keep going through each one of these. The next one is tabs, which is always a popular way to condense a lot of content into a little bit of a space. Just drag and drop it in there and edit the elements. So here it's contextual, so you can display them on the left, top, to the right, but you get a little bit of a preview here while you're looking at it. So we'll go with the standard. Click, edit. You can have an icon. And edit the text that goes inside of it. And you can see we get, again, a little bit of a preview of the icon there. You can even change which slide, or which tab rather, that it initially opens on. And just save. You can add an accordion and edit that. And this is the kind of toggle content where you click it and it expands upwards or downwards. Again, edit the individual content areas. And change how the accordion can be opened. If it's a toggle mode, if it's accordion, they can be opened all at once or not. You can even have sorting or not. And again, if we want to remove these, or if I want to just clone it, because I want lots of accordions on the single page, once I set up the basic options, I can go through just clone, 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 and then edit them individually. I can remove them, save. The promo box we've already seen, and the contact form is something that a lot of people have requested to be able to put on any page they want. And so with this, you can. If I want to make a nice, simple contact page that is 2 columns that both take up half of the page, and in one column, I want to have a little bit of text that just says, you can contact us with a little bit of an address underneath, or I can add a map. And then in the other side, I can just add my contact form. And with the contact form, I can go ahead and edit the elements. I can put in my email address. And then we can actually add all the various form elements to this. Name. We want it to be a text input. If we want to add another form element, just click the little plus sign, then click on the element. Say I want it to be a checkbox. Check the validation of it and its width. Set it to half width. Change the submit button label, the form title after it's been sent. We can even add autoresponder text. And if we want to have a captcha or not. And just like that, we have a page setup where we have 2 half with columns. And if we go ahead and update the page, we can take a look at what that looks like. So view page, and there we go. This would be the text area where you can add stuff just like a regular visual editor. And then we have the form on the other side with our little checkbox. And again, there's no need to code anything. There's no need to set up anything with the short codes and kind of doing like that. It's just drag and drop, edit the individual elements. So it makes it very easy. Now, when we get down to this one, blog posts, you can actually embed blog posts right into your layouts. If we added it just into a regular page, you can see we can choose which category we want. If we want it to just show our blog posts that are in the images category, we can. We can also choose from styles, where it has multi-author, single author, small preview picture, or even a grid layout. So if I choose the grid layout, I can choose how many columns are in the grid, how many posts I want to show, and if it should have pagination or not. So I'm going to choose no on that. I want my blog post to show almost like a mini portfolio, but they're posts. So if I save that, I update the page, and then we go and view the page. And so just like that, I have a grid of my blog posts. It's pretty neat. Now, if I wanted to do the same thing, but inside of a layout, I could do that. If I use actually let's use a 3/4. So in one part I have there, and I can just add in my element, the blog post, and I can put in, how about a little bit of text here. Edit it once again. This time I'll do news. I'll just do the excerpt and save. Okay, and let's go ahead and update the page and see how it looks. All right, so here we have all of our posts. Not bad. So again, you can just use the blog post element inside of any of your other layouts. Same thing with a table. A lot of times in a lot of themes and generally in the visual editor, it's very hard to add in tables into your content. And so with this, it's just a drag and drop element. We can add in a regular full width, bring in a table, and then edit it. And instead of having to use a plugin, you now can just use the theme's built-in elements. Add your rows, add your columns. You can use it as a pricing table or just regular tabular data. Save. And it's just that simple. So moving on, we have the portfolio grid, and the portfolio grid allows you to add portfolio content to any page or any column element that you want. You can choose which categories get shown. If I want to just create a video page that shows my video portfolio items and make it very simple, only show a couple of them, just the title, and I can even control how they open up, if it's a lightbox or if it's on a new page, if they're sortable using the in-page sorting options or not. And I just save. And right there, I can add that portfolio grid to anywhere I really want to. And then there's the team member element. So this is a new one that hasn't been in any of the other themes before. A lot of the other ones have been in various forms, but this one allows you to do specifically a team member type profile. You can add the team member image. So this team member is a bee. Add a quick description. And we can even add their little social links. So the phone number, add a URL. The bee works at Google. And open in the same window or a new window. And then we can just add more, and it will show up right on it. And so that is a team member. So next up is the progress bars. And again, drag and drop, edit. Here you can add a list of progress bars. You can just edit them, give it the label, what percentage it's at, choose a color, and if it should have an icon. And you just save, and you get progress bars. And again, this can be added into your column elements to give you full control over its layout and everything else. Next is the post slider. And this is a pretty cool effect that a lot of people requested. And it allows you to choose your category, how many columns you want, how many it should show. We'll do 4. Select all of them, just so you can see how it's done. If we update and take a look at the page. So here we just really simply have a little post slider with arrows that you can now use and add in anywhere on the site, because again, it's an element that can be drag and dropped right into your layout. And we're almost done with the content elements. We have testimonials. You can add additional testimonials, give them an image, their name, title, and then you can add the quote right in there. You can additionally add in the website link and the name of the website. It's going to go right above it. You can choose to show them as a grid or a slider. If you do grid, you can choose the column count. If you do slider, you can choose the auto rotation. And then the sidebar. So whenever you're doing a layout and you do the typical, it would be 3/4 and 1/3. Wait, nope, I am bad at math. Okay. You might want to say, this page has a very special sidebar. And I want it to have the sidebar of pages, or the one that's in the sidebar blog. You can choose that, which sidebar to display on this page in this section with one of these content elements. You can do it right from the page. You don't have to do anything special going into other settings or anything like that. You can just choose to say, I want this sidebar on this page, and then I want the content right there. So you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. And this most simplistic version is to just give a text block and the sidebar, and then edit it just like you would a normal visual editor page. So then we have the media elements. And this is where you can add video, you can add a specific image. The video format. If it's just a big image, insert the image, how you want it aligned. If you want it to fade in, the little animation. You can add a gallery. Choose the thumbnail style. You can actually choose the preview image size too. And then you can do the sliders. And these are the sliders just like the one on the home page. A full width slider where you can add nice big wide images. Or just a regular slider inside content. So this was a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but there really are just a ton of options and a ton of things you can do. And the last one that I wanted to show you is when you're working on some of these layouts and you really want to be able to do this just like you were editing the page, not from the back end, you can go to the full width page view. And so by doing this, you get to see the page in your browser just like a person would see, except using the layout. So like that. And just like that, now I get to see it nice and full view. I can save and then go back to regular. And again, this is right next to the templates button, and do expand. Speaking of this templates button, if you click on that, you can see that we can actually save our layouts as a template and then load it in. So if I want to load in that template already, it just goes right into the bottom where we get a slider and a portfolio entry with an accordion below it. And this really makes it from the drag and drop to really you can be a power user and create sites and content really quickly. If you're dealing with a site that has lots and lots of pages and you have a specific format that you want to use for 20, 30, 40 pages, you can save it as a template and automatically pop it up. And so if that's a specific column element with some color sections and it's pretty complicated, you can just load it in and then edit the content. And you don't have to go and recreate it each time. It's just right there, ready to be done for you. So that kind of brings us to the end. We're just about at the half-hour mark, and I hope that you have a pretty clear, pretty detailed idea of what all the theme can do. I'll be making a shorter video that just